What's up, cloud gamers? Welcome to another episode of CGX Cast. This is a cloud gaming podcast, and we have some good stuff to talk about this week. Hold on a second. We got some good stuff to talk about. We have Amazon Luna giving us the July roadmap. We have Google Stadia, which I think, again, repping Stadia here, had a really good solid week. It's quite interesting because we're going to check in with the members of the panel because I think some people didn't think they had a good week, but we'll discuss that and see what's going on with that. But Xbox, as you guys know, the Series X blades are being put in the clouds, and you're starting to see games take advantage of that. So we'll talk more about that, and also we got some new games being released and some touch controls coming to the cloud platform. GeForce Now had 13 games announced this week with a pretty good game coming with Kenna. So when we get to that segment too, we'll go more in depth with that. So some main good things to discuss in the cloud gaming world this week. And we have a special guest today with Link TV on the panel. So we'll get to Link here in a bit. But yeah, let's just kick this off. Say what's up to you guys. Again, appreciate you guys. So we have a poll that's going on right now. And it looks like 32 of you guys voted for the polls. And it seems like Google Stadia right now has 41% of who had the best news this week. We have GeForce Now with 31 and then xCloud Gaming with 28. So it's going to be interesting as this podcast continues to go to see if GeForce Now can pull ahead or if xCloud Gaming can pull ahead. But I thought that would be fun to do as we move on to the rest of the show. All right, fellas, so let me introduce the panel, see what you guys are doing, see what you've been playing, and see what platform you guys have been using to play this game. So to get started, GTP, how are you, sir? What have you been playing? And also, what platform have you been using to play these games?
Ace always saves the best for last and
Of
starts with
course.
the freaking worst. So it's good to be back, man. What a break, right? That
Oh my
felt like a
goodness, yeah.
while, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're back here doing this. I missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been really taking more time for gaming.
Okay.
There's just been so much to do. So I'm not afraid to admit Mario Golf. I've been into that since it came out. Phantom Abyss. GFN, me and Hell Monkey have been talking about that game. It's becoming a unhealthy addiction. And what do we got? Lego, the new Lego game. I played through a little bit of that as well. So those have been the three games I've been really messing with, and that's all GeForce Now, and of course the Switch, and messing with some xCloud, mostly Dark Alliance as well. Another really good game right now.
Cool. Good games, man. And so just real quick with Dark Alliance, do you like it? Because again, the reviewers have been saying the game is not that good, but people who are actually playing it are saying it's quite decent. So
The bar for games is just
so high.
We're getting to a point, and I think I said this before, it's getting difficult, right? Yeah. So when you make a game like this that I think is a good game, it runs well. You know, as a from a testing standpoint, it's well optimized on PC and everywhere else that you want to play it, and it's fun. I'm really enjoying going through it. I was with a group last night and the night before, getting a bunch of legendary gear. It's that Gauntlet Legends feel, quick, like run and do some dungeon runs with some people, get some loot, get out, jump back in. It's not going to be for everybody, but I like it. Just enough complication to keep it interesting, but not so much that you're like, I'm not going to have time for this. So, you know, depending on who you are, of course, it's going to depend on if you like it, but I think it's a well-done game.
That's awesome. Good. I'm glad you're having a good experience with that. So I noticed your video and Chief's video when you guys started recording, right? The quality wasn't the best, but then the Series X Blade kicked off. Did you notice,
the same day I recorded Dark Alliance and put that video up is the same day they started like rolling out whatever they're doing there. And I jumped back on like 3 hours after my video went up, and I was like, wait a minute, this isn't what I just recorded. And I was like, well, I'm not making another video right now. Like I just finished out, but it was like funny because the same day I did that one. I got back on hours later, and it was a completely different thing.
So you notice a significant improvement with performance.
Yeah, and you start noticing right away, just if you look at your load time, like launching xCloud, and then also load time of the games, it's a dead giveaway if you're on an HDD or an SDD. That's just, there's no faking that on cloud. So you know right away just from game load times if you're on one of the older blades or not.
Cool. We'll talk more about the Series X blades and the performance of games with it when we get to the Xbox segment. But cool. All right, Duncan, how have you been, sir? What have you been playing? What platform have you been using to play these games on?
Yeah, I've been spending my time between the Xbox and the xCloud stuff because that has just, as we're going to come on to later, has just kicked off another level. And I've been playing Sea of Thieves on Xbox. It is my go-to game. It is the chill out game. And no, I haven't done the new Pirates of the
Jack
Caribbean.
Sparrow, yeah.
I have not done that yet. We're going to be doing a live stream of that tomorrow, so I don't want to spoil it. We're going to just do our true reactions of when we're actually doing it. And what I've been playing on, I've been going a bit old school on GFN, and I've been playing some Killing Floor 2 on GFN, which I forgot how much fun that game is. You just go in there and just ship things and then just go back to sleep again. And I've went also really old school. So I wanted a game which I know I could complete nice and quick and easy. And Portal 2, just going back to that and just, oh yes. I've been just enjoying that as well. I just love the story of that game, and it is such a brilliant game, just to mix things up. And I've dipped into Lego as well on GFM. Absolutely brilliant wee game, nice and short, and you don't have to worry too much about it. Perfect game to chill out to. So I've been, like GDP there as well, I've been playing a lot of games this week, and it's been absolutely great to actually do that.
That's awesome, man. You guys seem to be playing a lot of GeForce Now, it seems like, between you and GTP. That's awesome, man. Going back old school too is good stuff, for sure. How about you, Ben? What have you been up to, sir? And what have you been playing and what platform?
Everything everywhere. Let's see. I did Dark Alliance for a bit. I like it despite the bad reviews. The main issues that I have with it are pairing is a little bit difficult because of the animation sequence with some of like the goblins or whatever they are. They're a little slow to attack. So when you try and parry, it's like hard. And let's see, there's something else that stood out to me as well that I didn't like. But overall, the game is fun. I did a little bit of Super Animal Royale. That was fun as well.
Okay.
Tested Stadia on both the Shield TV and the Chromecast with Google TV.
Okay.
We can talk about that later.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Just got my Luna controller in today.
Nice.
Haven't tested it yet, but it's here.
So what are you using to play Luna? Because last I heard you were trying to use your Galaxy S21, right?
I ordered a Fire Stick as well
to
try and get the most out of it. So
okay, cool. You gotta let me know how you experience this with that. For sure.
I was trying to get a test in before this, but it took too long to set up.
Awesome. Hell Monkey, sir, how are you? What have you been playing? What platform have you been using to play this games on?
Hello, everybody. Thanks, Ace. Yes, so I picked up Ubisoft Plus and the run-up to E3. I was hoping that more of the games was going to drop onto Stadia, but all I've been playing is Immortals Phoenix Rising off of that. I have got sucked into that game. It is so good, and it's so easy. I can play in GeForce Now. I can play in Stadia, so no matter what screen I can play it on. I'm playing it in bed at night, believe it or not, with my new mobile controller. It's just so easy to play. Other than that, as Jerry said, Phantom Abyss, ridiculously addictive, that game. Brilliant. Finished Lego Builders, played that right through. I've got a video coming up on that from start to finish. That's going to be on the CGXS channel. It's going to be processing for about 3 days now because it's nearly 3 hours long. But yeah, so you can finish that in like under 3 hours. I took a wee bit of time going through it, but what a beautiful game it is, and it's got RTX and GeForce Now, and it's so relaxing. It was just such an enjoyable 3 hours I spent the other night playing that. I hope they bring add-on content for it, because I could sit and do another hour, another 2 hours, one Thursday night, one Friday night, very easily on that game. Apart from that, I had a bit of Division 2 on Stadia today. Still one of the best games on the platform.
Yeah.
And I spent a good couple of hours in between the F1 sessions this morning doing that. So yeah, gaming all over the place between GeForce Now and Stadia. It's been a good week for games. I've had quite a lot of time.
That is so awesome to see you guys game, and this is, I would say, one of the most productive gaming week for most of the panel members, man. Good stuff all around. All right, we do here, we like to save the best for last, and we got Link TV as our guest today. Link TV, it's good to have you on here, my man. How you been? Just let the people know. Yeah, let the people know about you and what you do.
Yeah, no problem. First, I will say thank you guys for inviting me on here. It's always a pleasure and an honor to get asked to do these. So I've been watching your guys' stuff here and there as much as I can. Lately, for me, I know I told a couple people I did take a break for, I think it was about like 2 months, just because of family stuff, just my grandfather's health. And I know we were talking about it before this. I took a break. I know a lot of people were watching the open mic I just did. I believe it was on Monday. So I just kind of filled everybody in on stuff. Outside of that, just been working, playing games like you guys, taking a mental break and everything from the streaming and all that stuff. So it's been really good. But I've officially come back to streaming. So as of next week, I have a schedule that I'm going to be putting up and getting back into the grind of stuff. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here and chat with you guys. Outside of that, my gaming stuff that I've been doing, I think has mainly been a lot more Xbox than PC lately. So Super Animal Royale, which has been a blast, still getting into. I'm really looking forward to that coming to Stadia, because I think that game is going to hit it
a lot
off
of fun.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing is that it's such an easy game to pick up and play, and I think it's just humorous to see these animals going at it and the sound effects and stuff that you can't get mad of dropping in a hot zone and just hitting people and dying and just restarting. And the games are really, really quick. So I'm looking forward to seeing that on there, because I'll definitely play on that. It won't stress out my computer, so I could definitely use my my PC for that. Outside of that, Sea of Thieves, of course, I had to get on that. I'm a huge fan of Sea of Thieves. Duncan, I will say, without saying spoilers, the second part or the second tale, it has been said that there are bugs on that one, so don't get frustrated. That's my only pet peeve. That is my only one.
I know they're fixing them tomorrow. They've actually put it out for today that they've got a big massive patch first thing tomorrow. So that should be good news.
I'm looking forward to getting that fixed, but I'm loving the hell out of it. I think they did a great job with the story. A couple things I would probably change. If you've already done the story once, they should let you skip the conversations and just let you go. So that's one thing. But outside of that, the story holds great. Besides the bugs, the gameplay is fun. It's exciting. It's new. It's invigorating for the old players to come in, and enough for new players to just jump in and play. So I really like that. And the other game that I just started playing as of last night was Scarlet Nexus, which I'm really looking forward to. Yes, yeah. I played the demo, and I will say, if you are a fan of any type of JRPG with some full-on action and some innovative fighting mechanics, that is a game you need to pick up. And I saw the panel that they did this past E3 weekend, where the director and the dev team discussed their approach and how they did the videography and stuff like that, and how they placed everything, and how the stories intertwine, and how each story has a different way or a different route but still meshes together. So I'm I'm looking forward to really diving into this game. I barely maybe touched about an hour to 2 hours worth, but boy, am I stoked to play this game.
That's awesome. What does it
Yeah.
remind you of? Some people make the comparison to like near Automata. Is it? Or like yeah.
It's similar. It's definitely similar without the because I feel like that game has more of a minimal souls feel to it because of the how much damage you take, having to restart pretty far away. I think this one has a better, a more God of War action feel, but of course Japanese style. I guess the best way to describe this one, God, there was a game that I recently played that was similar to this too, and it was a JRPG style. Think how Final Fantasy's Final Fantasy 15, but drop it down to a cartoon level, and you kind of have that feel, or anime style. It's more anime than it is realism, but you got skills in there. You got telekinetic skills. The fighting is a simple X and Y. You have light and heavy. You have combination styles with your telekinesis skills. You have a power boost, super form and stuff like that. But this is the one biggest thing with the gameplay or the combat style to this was I love that there's sequences where it causes you to use your thumbsticks to motion in a specific way so that it actually follows through on a skill. So usually with boss fights, you'll have something like that. But it's a super easy game to pick up too, but it's so much fun. It's so fluid, it's smooth, it looks great, the colors are vibrant and nice. Yeah, I loved it the minute I played the demo, and I'm super glad that I picked it up.
That's awesome. Yeah, gotta get on that, man. I've been really looking at that game, so it's good to hear that so far. It's a good experience. Good stuff. Good to have you on here, Link. Can't wait to get your take on some of these news bits that we're going to cover.
Definitely.
Sure. Awesome. So let me just take a sec to say what's up to the chat. You guys are on here. Really appreciate you guys being here. Zero, what's up? Charles, what's good? Make is a chaos, what's good? Gem Stadia, what is good? Good to have you on here. Warlock, thank you for the super sticker, super chat. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jay, as always, good to see you. 007, man. We call this guy the guy that never misses, and he's on here today. Good to see you. BMox, good to see you as well. Let's see if we're missing anyone. Sherryman Gaming, good to see you on here too. Holtz, you're supposed to be in the panel, but it's okay. We forgive you. Who else is on here? Michael Marshall, good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right, cool. So let's get into this, man. We got so much here. Andy Morphs, what is good, homie? It's good to see you as well. All right, so we got a lot to talk about, so let's just get right into it. We're going to start with the Amazon Luna news. Now, this is quite interesting, and I'm going to pull up something as we're discussing this, but we have some games coming to Luna for the month of July, and those games are Dirt 5, Saint Row the Third Remastered, and Valkyrie Chronicles 4, the complete edition. All I can say is I see a theme, with these games coming to the Luna platform. And I wonder what's going on here. And it'll be great to get the panel's take on these games for sure. And let's just get started with GTP. What's your take on these games coming to the Luna platform? And yeah, I'm interested to see what y'all have to say about this game. So go ahead, start off with that.
Yeah, Ben.
You're gonna say the same thing I said in our chat earlier this week.
I'm trying to think how can I say this without saying what Ben's already been saying and other people. And I think it's what Ace is alluding to. I mean, we'll just throw it out there. There are games on sale in places that all of a sudden show up in places like this, and you're thinking this is where I'll play it. We'll just, we'll do it like that as we go. Look, Luna's doing a great job. We keep saying this. Yeah, it's a slow burn. Yeah, we're in beta, and we keep talking about how long can they get away with beta, and they need to expand and so on. But their social media game's on point. Their marketing game is on point. And the games they keep getting every month, it's not like a GFN level 60 games in 1 month or 30 some games in 1 month, but they get 3, 4, or 5 what I would consider quality games for that channel, for the Luna Plus channel. We're still at the $5.99 a month, okay? That's almost nothing for a gaming subscription service. And now we're talking about Dirt 5, one of my new favorite arcade racers since it came out not too long ago, and I play it everywhere. And Saints Row the Third Remastered, which I have really been getting into elsewhere as well. So the value is there. You know me. How much entertainment am I getting out of my dollar? How much value am I getting, you know, especially when it comes to subscription services versus just outright buying a game? And to me, Luna is smashing it. They keep doing a really good job, and definitely Dirt 5 and Saints Row the Third, I can't wait to check out. And I think a couple people here were talking about in chat that they wanted to buy Valkyria Chronicles 4, but now also may not buy it. You might play it on Luna. So this is interesting that these 3 particular games dropping, you know, were being announced around the same time as like some sales and stuff. But I doubt anybody knew what anybody else was doing, so I'm sure it's complete coincidence, but it's really interesting.
Okay, that's what I want to bring. That's
Can I
That's
just
what
add
I want to
one-
bring.
That
up.
was muted. Let me try that again. Coincidence.
Yeah.
Can I just add something
Go
here?
ahead,
Just to be absolutely fair in this, it isn't the full Dirt 5 experience. I think that
Break
has
it
to.
down. Yep.
It's missing the multiplayer. It's missing the playgrounds and things like that. It is a big, massive disappointment, in my view. I think that's because of, as we know, the multiplayer isn't really switched on Luna at the moment. But I think it is worth pointing out. It is not the full Dirt 5 experience.
I'm glad you said that, and that is absolutely true. So. Yes, we'll begin this for Luna, but it's not the full experience, right? So again, we're missing the multiplayer element of this game. But GTP, I did want to ask you, man, what, you know, we did the whole coincidence thing, but let's be real, let's speculate a little bit. Why do you think this keeps happening? And it's not just Luna and Stadia. You see this with Game Pass too, getting, you know, similar games as, you know, the competition is getting. What do you think is going on here?
There's, you know, I still find it hard to believe that everybody knows what everybody's doing, so that it's that well planned.
Okay.
There may be some of that. You know, we hear rumors. Of course, the companies hear them as well, and they do their little plans and their stuff too. But I think it more comes down to cloud is still so new, and there's still a lot of developers and publishers that aren't confident or feel good about the experience yet, or putting their game on cloud. And I think when someone decides to put it on cloud, it just starts to show up in more places quicker, and that's kind of why it starts to hit everywhere. And it seems coincidental that everybody's, you know, that the game will drop in Game Pass, or it'll be coming to Luna, or it'll be on sale on Stadia, or whatever the case may be. Even PS Now has some of that, but I think it's more companies decide to go ahead and bring the game to cloud, therefore it starts to show up more in multiple places, is kind of how I would take it.
Okay. So from your take, right, when you see these games come to Luna and, you know, they're on sale for Stadia, are you, like, when it comes to making that purchase in Stadia, do you just say, no, I'm not going to do it because I can play it for $5 a month on Luna? Where do you stand with that?
Stadia is complicated because we're still in the whole beta, we're not out for everybody yet thing, which means we also don't have multiplayer. We talk about that with Sonic Racing. Me and you were a little disappointed, but we get it. The multiplayer's not there yet. So we just play single player. Same with Dirt 5. And to be honest, I've played so many hours of Dirt 5 on PC and Xbox, and I have yet to go multiplayer. I've been all story, all arcade on that anyway, for me. Now, just because it's the channel, I've bought Dirt 5 on Stadia, and I'm going to play it on Luna, and I play it everywhere else. If you're someone who's choosing one spot, you're probably going to grab it on Stadia if you can, because of the multiplayer and the experience there. But if it's not cross-play, there could be issues anyways. If you don't have anybody to play with, it's not multiplayer either. So it's tough. It's a tough decision to make. And also the sale price is what, $24 right now on Stadia? That's really good. Yeah. So I can't knock that at full price. I would say just wait for Luna, play the single player. When it comes out of beta, multiplayer will launch, and then dive into that. You'll be good by then. No big deal. go at it that way. But with that sale price, go for it on Stadia as well if you wanna jump in. I still don't like the performance of the game on Stadia, so I'm really curious how it's gonna work on Luna when they port it over to there, because the Luna Plus channels ports. It's not the PC version like on some of the other stuff. So I'm really interested to see the performance, and that's another reason why I have it in both places, because I'm waiting to do that comparison between Luna and Stadia. So
And xCloud.
and next,
That's true. Yeah, you guys see, you see the theme there, right?
yeah.
Cool.
And that's
All
what
right.
I think. As games, as everyone gets more comfortable with games going into cloud, you'll see these games going into multiple cloud platforms more often.
Okay. Fair enough. Good take on that. Link, what's your take on Luna getting these games for the month of July?
I mean, honestly, I think it's a great thing that they're getting these. Being an arcade driving game, I think that's great that Dirt 5 is on there. Of course, the multiplayer is not active, but at the same time, it's something that you know is coming, so you can't really dock too many points on it. We've seen it plenty of times, even on console, where games come out and they have a multiplayer, but people don't lose their heads over it. They know it's something that will eventually come. I mean, I've seen it plenty of times, and I believe Stadia had the same issue right in the beginning, that online wasn't fully implemented when it released. It took a little while. I can't remember for sure. I thought I heard about it, but it's not something that's brand new. It happens all the time with new games that come out. There's always going to be hiccups. There's always going to be issues. I've learned it over the years. You can't break somebody or a company down just because of a minor thing. You got to give it time. Look at Outriders. Unfortunately, that was a horrible introduction, but they're slowly making it better and better. And from my recent readings, the newest update that came out has actually brought more life to the game again. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt and slowly go. But Dirt 5 is a big one that's on there that I'm glad to see. Saints Row, I think I've always been a fan of, because as much as I love GTA, I just love the ridiculousness of Saints Row. I love the humor. It's chaotic fun. I think it's hilarious. I think everybody should at least pick it up and try. Even if you're not a big fan, or if you have that Grand Theft Auto itch, but you're not really feeling the whole getting killed by people online mode, just have some fun on there. Just cause some chaos and have a blast. I think it's great. And the fact that you can create your character to make it look completely funny is one of my favorite things, because I'll go all out, pink hair, extremely big, but like has a small head or something. It's fun to do stuff like that. I think the creativity points on that is really good. The biggest one, though, I will say, is Dirt. I think driving simulators like that, or any type of arcade driving game on any platform, is a huge plus. Look at the Crew 2 when it came to Google Stadia. That was a huge thing. So definitely having that love on there. And the Yakuza series in general, if you have not tried that, you are definitely missing out on a great game, or great series. I highly recommend it. So kudos to them for picking these up. And I know within time they'll definitely start paving more ways for other games and getting that stuff. You got to be patient, man. That's the biggest thing. You got to be patient. I know a lot of people don't want to wait for this stuff. They want it day and date. But I mean, look at the way Stadia was in the very beginning, very dry bone. It's like you guys said, it's brand new. It's still coming out the doors. Just, you got to give it time.
Fair enough. Yeah. Still new. Again, still have the beta tag, right? But
Well, and to be fair, back to the multiplayer issue with Luna, is it better to have multiplayer turned off by nature, or is it better to have people frustrated because there's no player base and no crossplay?
Well, in the beginning, I mean, look at all the other games that were on there that were still functional but didn't have the multiplayer on there. I mean, the biggest person that I remember playing games that were multiplayer but still enjoyed them were like Ashes to Ashes. He was all for Luna and enjoyed all the stuff and said, multiplayer is coming, and eventually it did. And it's just a matter of, enjoying the game, and then you have all this extra stuff to go back over with. I get it's frustrating to not be able to play with friends right away, but also on top of that, there's not a big user base at the moment. It's still slowly growing.
Mhm.
So eventually it'll get there, and I think once it gets to a good point, having it off at least for the first week or so to kind of gauge how the game is ported well and functioning, and then once everything looks pretty good, flip it on, see how it functions after that, and then go from there. Of course, that's my personal opinion. Other people would have a different take on it, but yeah, no, I mean, start off small. It's brand new. It's a different system, different coding style, and then kind of go from there.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, good take on that, Link. Let's check in. Ben, you kind of spoke a little about it, but let's check in with you. What's your take on Luna Gendy's games?
I'm excited about it. I mean, I thought that was awesome. I almost was considering buying Valkyria Chronicles 4, and now I don't have any need to, especially after buying the Luna controller. Yeah, I mean, overall, yeah, I see the issues with Dirt 5. You know, it's missing a few features that are very key. I still think the best place to play that, personally, for what I have, is the Series X, because it just runs amazing on there. Let's see, what was the other game they announced? Yakuza 0, and what was the other one? There was something else.
So Yakuza 0 released this week with the announcement, but there was Dirt 5, there was Saint Road the Third, and Valkyrie.
Saints Row the Third. That's the other one I wanted to play, but hold on.
You're good.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna be playing that on Luna.
Cool. Awesome. Good take on that, Ben. Let's check in with, I was going to say Holt. Holt is not here. I'm going to rub it in until he feels guilty and decides to pop in. But let's check in with Duncan, man. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I think that Luna is outstanding value. You cannot take away from it. $6 a month, and you're getting all these games, and no games have left as yet. With the games turning up in different platforms, I think it's just a case some developers are just more open to the cloud than others, and we're going to see this crossover. And this is something that I think a lot of us have been talking about down the line here. You're going to have, it's going to feed into the buying versus subscription model. And for $6 a month, we'll just start with Luna, you can get a number of Stadia games on there. You can get a number of xCloud games on there for that $6, and we know that Luna runs well for a lot of people out there. With the games coming again, they seem to be curating them. They're good games. They're games that people want to play, or people have just missed out playing. And I just think they're in a great spot. They just need to expand out to get out everywhere else. I think that's the big thing. With the multiplayer, we do know that there is some games on Luna which have got multiplayer. Obviously, we want all the games to have the multiplayer, but I'm of the opinion, and I said this when they said they weren't switching on the multiplayer. I think it's the right decision. Not to have it on, because it's just going to highlight the lack of lobbies, the lack of people playing, like we see with Stadia, where you log into a Stadia game, and if you get a multiplayer lobby, you're doing well in some of these games. But I don't think it's a coincidence. I with the crossover of games, I just think it's just there's just some companies are out there who are just more open. But it does bring into the value propositions for a lot of people, because $6 a month, and then you get these games, £12 a month, $15 a month for xCloud now. The amount of games you're getting is just unreal. And if you just take one game in isolation, yes, it doesn't look that great value. It's just all these games you're going to have Outriders now. You've got Dirt 5, you've got Doom Eternal, you've got Valkyria Chronicles. This is what makes everything so interesting, and what is going to make things exciting down the line because everybody is going to have to adapt.
So then, I guess, let me ask you this question. What if this is the path that, imagine if Bethesda wasn't acquired, right? would probably see their games still coming to Google Stadia and possibly Luna. So if this is the route that, cloud gaming is heading to, where all the third-party games are going to be on all the cloud game platforms, what differentiates them then? Is it exclusive features, right? So like Google Stadia has with Stream Connect and stuff like that. What do you think is gonna, separate the games, or is it just gonna be every platform gets every game for cloud gaming? Thoughts?
If we're going to be completely honest, the Stadia-only features have been absolutely shambolically sort of implemented, and they haven't actually been put into Stadia well at all. I just seen a question on Twitter today, and can I put crowd play into my stream? And no, it's not turned on for everybody. And they were promoting that for Borderlands 3 for this weekend. The state share on Stadia has been shocking. I think it's just into the wrong games. What it's going to come down is content. And you just mentioned it there. Take Bethesda out, but you can't take Bethesda out because Bethesda is part of the deal now, and that is going to draw people onto xCloud and Xbox generally from next year when these exclusive games start to come. Because how many people are going to jump into Starfield now because they can't get access to it on PlayStation? We're seeing the massive hype of that game, and they didn't even release a trailer before E3, and now the trailer's out there and people are getting hyped up more, and people are going to want to jump onto this, and it is going to get worse because we actually didn't discuss E3 in this a couple of weeks ago because we were all busy doing stuff, but Microsoft held back so many games. It is actually scary. Their conference, I thought, was a pretty good conference, but they missed a couple of probably games to actually majorly pull you in. But these games are coming. We didn't see Hellblade 2 there. We didn't see the new Fable there. We didn't see a load of these other games. And I think people are going to want to go and play on xCloud because of these games. It is the games that draw people in. The features are the cherry on top, but it's the games where people are going to want to go and play.
Okay.
If I may enter
Go
on
ahead.
that one. So I know Duncan's bringing up Fable and Hellblade. It's not necessarily that they didn't bring it in. There's kind of like a schedule that really goes on. So we technically saw it last year. You're not saying that everybody knows it, but you're not really anticipating it on the next one because it's usually like a 2-year span before we see like a full trailer for it. But what I liked that Xbox did is they did technically showcase the art on there, saying there's also these games coming, in the following, which I know it's not a lot of spotlight, but that shows that Microsoft is taking the initiative to say, hey, we didn't forget about these ones that we showed you last year. But I think next year is going to be one of the biggest for Microsoft and Xbox, especially with what they've released on this E3 and what they're planning to do on the next one. And my biggest concern is Sony needs to do something quick.
They're too quiet. They are too quiet. Yeah.
Very, very. It was very ballsy for them to not show up this year, and I'm really concerned because they have Ratchet and Clank, but
I'm going to say three simple. I'm going to say 3 simple words, and they are going to, and it's just going to dominate the gaming space when this happens in a couple of weeks. By the looks of things, God of War. Yeah. That is just going. That is just going to blow everything that Microsoft has basically done.
I don't think so.
One exclusive, bro, is not going to save Sony, man. They can't keep relying on one exclusive. I mean, look, Ratchet and Clank came out, man. PS5 is still not above, everyone else. That was a game that they were heavily relying on, man. Yeah, I get it. They have the exclusives, but they can't keep... Microsoft is changing the game, bro. And these exclusives that Sony's relying on is not going to save them, man. It's not going to save them.
I think we're majorly underestimating PlayStation, because if you've seen what is actually going on behind the scenes and these new job listings going, there is some real interesting ones going out there. The biggest thing I can see which is changing from PlayStation, some of these job listings are actually going for something which PlayStation are majorly weak in, and that's in multiplayer games. There's a big push for multiplayer games coming from PlayStation, so I think that is going to be really class to see, and I'm really excited what they've got up their sleeves, because I think we are really underestimating what PlayStation are going to bring, because they have been signing up these different developers. We forgot about some of these. Just before E3, during Summer Games Fest, they announced a brand new studio headed up by some Infinity Ward. It was some people they made Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then before that, they also announced the Jeb Raymond, or don't mention where she came from, but so they brought her team on board. They are investing in these new games and new franchises, and they're going to be owning them. So yeah, Microsoft absolutely are out from this world at this moment in time by buying all these studios. But PlayStation, I'm still excited what they're going to bring, because even though Microsoft are buying these studios, that doesn't mean that their quality is going to be there, because Microsoft is here, PlayStation is still up here in regards to the quality of the games and how influential they are.
Yeah.
It's very subjective though, because I feel, and I've said this plenty of times, I think Sony is more of a theatrical entertainment meant for solo players. I don't think they really focus on the community multiplayer aspect. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to knock on them. I think they do a great job, and I agree with you that I'm looking forward to what Sony can bring. The only problem is, even with these acquisitions of these new companies or new studios, you still have a 5-year span before we even see anything from them. Where Microsoft is acquiring these and still showcasing what the potential is. And out there, I'm not saying that they're that far ahead, but they're definitely gaining a lot more ground in the game, that it worries me to see Sony take one event out and not really have a big thing other than Ratchet and Clank. And that's the thing. Even with God of War, like, you got to understand, Microsoft came out with 27 titles that are all coming to Game Pass, which is no extra dollar out of your pocket for your subscription already. And 31 total games coming. That's less of a margin that you have to pay out of pocket for those games for you to acquire. And a lot of them are all exclusive. So it's mind-boggling to see how Microsoft's plan comes into play, but when you see it, it's wild. And Sony, I feel, is just still stuck in the past. Their business model is still very to the traditional. They really need to get out of it. Yeah. I think they really need to start taking some risks. And I know that's not really Sony, but they should. They should at least try to adapt a little bit differently.
Yeah. I've said this generation is going to be the generation that defines Sony, right? It's quite interesting because, like, I feel like the table has turned. The
Heavily.
The PS3 had a rocky launch, but then, they had to change things up for the PS4. And, that's why we saw the success of the PS4. And then Microsoft struggled with the Xbox One. And then I feel like they're changing things up. They did good with the 360 era. So I think it's Sony's time to change things up. People are like, oh, the systems are selling, or they have the best exclusives from the PS4. But the moves that Microsoft is making now, I think it's going to force their hands to have to retaliate, right? And if they don't, Microsoft, I think, is prepping for the next 5 to 10 years. Sony's focusing on this generation. The moves they're making now is going to say a lot, moving forward.
I think we're forgetting about Herman Hulst's interview just before E3, where they have announced that they've got 25 titles in development for the PlayStation 5, and 13 of them are brand new IPs.
But I get it. But some of them are indie. They're going to be indie titles. They're not going to be like 27 AAA exclusive.
Don't know the indie.
You don't
Yeah,
know.
it's going to be questionable because I mean, you could say I could tell you I have 25 different new flavors, but how many of them are going to be great? That's the biggest thing. How many of them are being developed by a big name title or
And
you
that's
know?
it. And that's the exact same point towards Microsoft.
No, exactly.
But-
But I mean,
yeah, just because you're pumping the money in doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to make a brilliant game. And I'm really excited about Xbox. Don't get me wrong, but I think we should be excited where they're going because they are all in gaming. I'm absolutely thrilled that they are all in gaming, but PlayStation are as well. They don't maybe have the money off them, but I think there is definitely something cooking there, and I think we're going to be wowed again because they do have the games what wow people. And again, I brought in God of War, but they've also got another game coming out this year, which is Horizon, and they've also got another game which Hellmonk people like, which is Gran Turismo. We just keep on forgetting. No, you're not really a GT fan, but see, it's too complicated for them.
We're spending a lot of time here in Sony, but like, they need to do. I'm just.
Yeah, I think they
need to do something. Man.
They do need to do some more, but I think they've actually got more going on behind the scenes that would probably.
I hope so. Oh shoot! Do I see a ghost in the chat?
We'll see how they pan out. Like I said, the biggest difference between the two models right now is more than half of those titles are not going to be on some type of subscription service for Sony for you to play at no extra dollar. Whereas Game Pass has a good portion of those where Microsoft is basically giving it to you. Even if those titles were horrible, you already have the incentive to try it. So it's still a possibility that they're definitely gonna pull more weight. But I'm looking forward to Sony pulling something out of their hat, and they have the money, they have it, but they just don't want to make the move to do it. Look at crossplay. There's a fee to add crossplay, yet they don't want to pay it. Why? It would make things so much easier for people to just be, hey, I have this system, but I get it. It's competition. You want to play against the other player. That's fine. But still, you're restricting your fan base.
Why wouldn't you put crossplay? Be the only one that doesn't put crossplay in Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Like, huge announcement.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that didn't do it.
I get it's money. They definitely have it, and it would definitely benefit their platform for it. Yet they're ruining it.
So right now, I feel like Sony seriously is anti-consumer. They're thinking about what's the best thing I can do to further be in top and just push exclusives and games. Where I feel like Microsoft is more of like, what do the consumers want and how can we make that available? And I feel like most businesses and most companies who listen to the customers and try to bring value to them are the companies that end up succeeding. Sony was with PS4, but I feel like they're taking a different approach with this generation. So it's going to be quite interesting.
In this day and age, you have to be aware of what the consumer wants. You have social media that'll just destroy you if you don't.
Sure.
I mean, to Duncan's principle with the flavors, you can give me 32 flavors of ice cream. Doesn't mean I want anchovy flavored ice cream or pickle flavored ice cream. That's not going to help. At least Xbox is, they may not be giving you as many flavors, but they're giving you the good ones.
Yeah. Dang, Sony's taking the whole podcast.
Can I just say this? I was the one defending PlayStation here. Sure. So when we come back and look at PlayStation, probably in a couple of weeks, can I maybe say I was right?
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to say that.
No, I'll hit you with the biggest one. It's called mini fridge. End it right there. Mini fridge.
Can I just say that PlayStation is not?
Guys.
Can I just say PlayStation is not getting a pass for me because when they actually went cross-gen and they brought their PlayStation 5 games like Forbidden West and Ragnarok and Gran Turismo to PlayStation 4, they should have said, well, we offer it as a family platform across hardware, but they should have also said we'll bring them to cloud. And if they said they were going to bring them games to cloud, I would have forgiven them. But because he didn't say that, and they only said they're going to dilute these games to cater for the people on PlayStation 4, and to me, I'm not happy unless it was cloud.
Yeah. Sony's gonna have to answer to Game Pass and to cloud, and that's why competition's a beautiful thing, right? If Microsoft didn't exist, probably wouldn't have forced their hands. But you hear rumors of them working on stuff, and I feel like, Duncan, you're onto something that eventually they're gonna announce it, and hopefully it's good enough to rival what Microsoft is doing. But yeah, their hands are gonna be forced, and let's see how they're gonna answer to it for sure.
I'm just gonna say that I love how this Luna discussion turned into a whole thing about PlayStation.
Seriously, we're
Well,
what, like 25 minutes in, and
We barely cover PlayStation, so we actually need the limelight to actually point at them and saying, "Come on, PlayStation, get up and play with the big boys. We know you've got it. We know you got the titles.
To be fair,
Please cater for us."
PlayStation may be working on a silent strategy. I saw an article this week. I'll try and track it down in a second. About how the best way for cloud gaming to succeed is to disappear, as in disappear into our lives, like just be there without making a big deal out of it. It's a convenience factor. It's not it can do all these great things, unlike what certain people did when they announced themselves. It's just there. It works. It's in your lives. It just works. It just wormed its way in. I feel like that's kind of, yes, during E3, Microsoft or Xbox did say some things related to cloud, but for the most part, out of 30 games that they announced, 27 had the cloud label on it, and they didn't make a big deal out of it. It's just there.
Mhm.
And I feel like Sony's working on something similar. They just haven't even announced anything yet. They're just going to worm it way in, and it's just going to be there.
Yeah, I think that article's from The Verge. It's a good one if you guys haven't read it yet. But yeah, all right, let's move on, man. Sony, damn you, 25 minutes, bro. But all right, let's go to GeForce Now. Wait, did we cover everyone from Luna before we head over?
Yeah,
Monkey,
I didn't
don't
say
think we-
anything. I was just listening to everyone. That was a great conversation. But no, all my thoughts on Luna was just the same as you guys. Come to the UK, please.
Yeah, they're gonna need to do that soon. They're gonna need to do that soon. But yeah, so just before we move on, I was reading the chat. Some people were saying, "Why are we giving Luna a pass?" Right? Because again, they're missing the online components. Right? How? To be fair, I think you guys might put the beta label on this, but I do think they need to hurry the hell up. I mean, I can't stress it enough. They need to expand to more countries. They need to get the online figured out. Yes, the game, we mentioned it, it's come to Stadia and Luna, but it's stripped down when it's come to Luna. So that's not fun if you can't play online. But yeah, just want to clarify that. I know some of y'all were talking about that in the chat. Anyone else want to add?
I don't think it's giving him a pass. I think it's just more of you weigh the pros and cons in this situation. It's the same as you would with any other business. You weigh the pros and cons, and really, there's a lot more pros with it being the fact that there's getting more variety, more high title games coming in than you are the technical problems that you've already seen. You already know they're there. It's just it's definitely something that will eventually come, but you're seeing progress, and I think that's the biggest thing is the progress in the company is outshining more than the cons and the issues with stuff you already know. It's like your car is busted up, but it's definitely making progress than it was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. You got to look on the brighter stuff than it is. A lot of people like to tear the things down, and I get it. You don't want to look at the horrible stuff, but you got to always appreciate the little things that are getting you to the better place.
Right.
So it's not necessarily a pass. It's just you're going in the right direction. You're doing the right thing. There's still stuff that you got to pick up, but it's definitely a way forward.
Okay. I like that.
No, it's definitely not going to pass in my mind because I'm paying for. People are paying for the subscription. They're paying $6 in the US.
Yeah.
So to me, that is actually a full-fledged subscription. They could say it's beta and they could bring games that are years old and everyone claps, but to me, it actually is a cost. So I actually want to see the games that I would like to pay to join into the service.
But on the other hand, people buy early access games on Steam all the time.
Yeah,
You pay for early, you pay for beta all the time.
But except for each person that wants early access, there's a gamer like me that just wants a full-fledged game, and that's what I want, a full-fledged subscription. I could take my $6 and I can take it somewhere else and play and get the games like Game Pass.
And that's literally the answer is do it. You don't technically have to be on Luna. I mean, it's a choice. If you know it's not working, found another platform. I mean, that's what I tell a lot of people. If it doesn't work for you, there's you don't have to be here. But I completely understand. It's all user based, and yeah, we want all these games. We want this stuff to grow and function and make it accessible for us. But at the same time, when you know it's a beta, you know what you're getting into. Even in Ben's perspective, when it comes to early access game, when stuff is in early access, you know there's going to be a lot of issues. So you take it with a grain of salt. You figure out, is it worth it? Is it worth my time? I'll try it maybe a month and then just dip out if it doesn't work. Me, even with Stadia, like I know I don't use it as often, but I had the benefit to get into it. I loved the technology. I think it works great. The games are coming to it very, very, quickly, more than I would have thought. I didn't expect like Dirt to be on there right away, but we're getting that, we have that on there and we're getting more and more. But even though I don't use it, I still keep it there because I have people that use it and they use, my family account. I think Luna has a family account too, right? It's definitely potential to push, even if it's a relative, even if it's just a friend, to just have access to it. So it's all user case. Like if you think it's worth it, do it. If you don't, I mean, it's no shame in leaving and going to another place. Like that's the great part about it. You have that opportunity to move. But I completely get where you're coming from. There's a lot of games that I wish are on Google Stadia or on GFN that I could definitely get into, and they're not. And it's just kind of like, well, I'll just stick to PC.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like Luna is being very strategic about everything they're doing. Amazon is known for being a strategic company. They've been the biggest in most things that they've done. They're huge. They dominate the audiobook space. They dominate the retail space. They dominate. I mean, they bought Whole Foods. They took all these things and made them gigantic. Luna, yes, it's a slow bake, like people are talking about in the chat, but it's a strategic thing. To me, it feels like they're waiting to slowly just, I don't know, let people on Prime see enough announcements about it, but not be able to actively use it unless they're, Fire Stick users. And eventually, once people are aware of it and it's just kind of ingrained in their lives, they'll turn it on, flip the switch, and all of a sudden it's going to be like $10 for regular members and $5 for Prime members. And then everybody's going to have access to it. You're going to have, 23 million users, or no, it's more than that. That's Game Pass is 23 million. Yeah, Prime is way more. But you have all these Prime members that all of a sudden are going to have access. And once they turn that on, they're going to have a massive player base. Even if only 10% of those come on, that's still a giant player base for a gaming subscription that is new.
Yeah.
It's all strategic. To me, I feel like that's where they're going with it.
It ain't going to work because we believe this with Stadia. We thought YouTube and actually Google had this install base when Stadia first came, and we were so wrong. So the whole point is, I think a lot of people at Amazon just want to stick to deliveries and Prime videos. I don't think they actually care about gaming. So where we believe that these Prime members will transition to gaming, I don't think that's the case.
I disagree because, if Amazon didn't care about gaming, they wouldn't have such a huge investment in Twitch.
No, we just say exactly the same about like YouTube or something like that. The big boys are Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, who've had years experience. When we look at Microsoft, when we look at Amazon and we look at Google, I think they're so far behind. I don't think they're going to get the numbers they perceive to get initially.
Yeah. And can I just add to this as well? Here's the thing as well with Amazon. I think they have every right to take their time with this because let's be, Holtz, you've said it perfectly there. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo are the big dogs in the gaming landscape. Cloud gaming is such a small market share right now. There is absolutely no need for any cloud gaming company to rush out the blocks and, make a big song and a dance because it's just too new right now for the mass user base. So we're still set with the old console PC sort of generation. So I really appreciate the slow rollout they're doing. They're curating the library. They're going to get everything spot on. And then when the time's right, because they're not silly, Amazon, when the time's right, they're going to push that out in whatever manner that they choose.
Of course, to me, when you look at Day 5, it's like 7-8 months old now. and other services got this beforehand. If Amazon want to push this service, they should start telling us what the next type of game is going forward, the next racer, the next
Right.
fighter, and show us who their partnership were going forward to captivate me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Says
appreciate that.
Amazon's playing the long game. I agree. I would like for them to hurry up for sure. But
We all
I
want
hear
them.
you
We
with
all
that.
want them to hurry
We're
up.
all impatient.
But so just want to showcase this real quick. So these games again are going to be available for Amazon Luna, but I'm going to tell you guys my biggest gripe with Luna Plus right now. Right. So they said that through beta they're going to keep all the games on there. I have a hard time with subscription services and games leaving, right? Why I end up doing this, buying games on Google Stadia, is because I know they're going to stay, right? Dirt 5, again, I know it's going to stay. I don't know what Luna's going to do with Dirt 5 after 6 months, right? But I know for Stadia it's going to stay. Valkyrie, same thing. St. Rose, same thing. So, yes, they're available to play on Luna for free. Not for free, for $5 a month. But to me, I'm like, how long are they going to stay a Luna Plus game, right? If I buy it and sell for Google Stadia, I know it's going to be there for the long haul. So for me right now, man, that's a big issue that I have with subscription services. And until either Luna or Microsoft addresses that somehow, I know with Xbox, again, you can purchase the game of a discount, but then you'll still need a Xbox console to play that game. But I would rather pay for the game, buy it, and know that I have it to play in long haul and it won't leave. So yeah, I ended up buying all 3 of these on Google Stadia, man, because I just don't know what's gonna happen with these games on the Luna Plus channel.
I mean,
So-
getting Dirt 5 on there is a huge plus that you got for that price. So I don't think you missed
Yeah.
I don't think you missed the mark on that one.
So it's
You
a
see,
really good
on like
deal.
same with Ace, me and him played Valkyria Chronicles 4 on the Switch. We praised it coming to cloud gaming on Stadia first, and now it's been diluted. That's coming to, Luna. And in the end, it's still going to be a cost for the likes of me and him. Months down the line, when another service has already brought it, we've praised it, we've liked it, and now it's still a cost going forward if we want to buy it again.
Yeah. So yeah,
I mean, I was the same way. I did that with Borderlands. I have it on on Xbox. I have it on PC, and I have it on Google Stadia. I love that game.
I did that in Jedi Fallen Order.
So I know subscriptions are good, but should we actually wait 7 to 12 months potentially to get a game that we actually want, or should we actually jump on when day one, or there's actually a sale in 3 to 6 months?
I think what we're going to be seeing in the future is the hybrid. What we do with movies, what we do with TV shows, you have your staple ones, and then you supplement it down the line by the games you really want to keep down the line. And I think we've seen it with Luna already, where you can buy the add-ons. It's just a matter of time now before you can actually buy the games on Luna as well. So I think the over-analyzing of the subscription model, I think, is just that. I just say it moving to what we have with movies and TVs, because you don't buy every movie you watch, you don't buy every TV show you watch. You do, but you do buy the occasional ones. Because I know I'm an Apple fanboy. And on my Apple TV, I've got about 100 movies on there, but I still stream and do that. I buy the movies I want to buy. And I think that's going to continue. So I don't think the big bad wolf of the subscription of just taking over everything is going to happen. I think there is going to be the balance.
See, Duncan, about the movies, like my mentality is I enjoy my streaming services. I don't get mad when they drop something. If they drop something, I look to see if it's somewhere else. I can cancel, I can re-add, there's no loyalty. I don't have to stick with one forever. If it's not on any other service, then I buy the movie. And that's my mentality with games. I can switch these services at any time. I don't have to have all of them at the same time. There's no reason for it. It's not like a console where you have to spend hundreds of dollars for it. You can jump off and on, and if your games disappear, buy them. Oh well.
That's true.
It depends on the user, because if we go to Disney Plus, for example, I will actually pay for Cruella 3 months before it drops free on Disney Plus just to compare with cinema, for example. So I need to get it now to share with my family, to talk about it ahead before anyone else gets it on the like of a sale or free. And I feel like I'm still getting my worth even though I've got a subscription.
Right. So let's move along. We're still on Moon and the PlayStation, y'all. All right, so let's talk about GeForce Now. 13 games released for the platform this week, and guys, this is looking good, man. Like I said, overall, this week was pretty impressive for every cloud gaming platform. So, 13 games, Industry of Titans, same day release, Steam and Epic. You have Lego Builders, you have Phantom Abyss, you have Dual Universe Beta, you have Incast, a sci-fi post-apocalyptic RPG. You have The Final Station, Iron Harvest, Power Wash Simulator. That's for you, Holtz. You have Spirit of the North and Strategic Mind. And then they announced one of the biggest games that I was hoping to come to the cloud for this year, and that's Kenna. Guys, pretty impressive week, I would say, for GeForce Now. What are your thoughts, man? Let's start with Holtz. What's your thoughts on GeForce Now news?
Well, the biggest takeaway from this is I actually love Kenya and the Bridge of Spirits when I actually seen that trailer. And I've always been saying in the past, to bring games ahead of time and announce it, of course. And when I saw this, I'm like, I'm glad this game's coming to cloud. It's one of these games that I'm actually happy to buy on, say, Steam, and it comes to GeForce Now. So I'm happy to see it. But overall, to me, once again, seeing GeForce Now line up, I'm like, it's an old Ubisoft game. It's a early access, and it's also this week, and it's more simulators once again. So there's only one point that is going forward for me as a gamer, and that's Kenya and the Bridge of Spirits.
So with Dual Universe and Phantom Abyss, you still think?
No, they're not for me overall.
Oh, okay. I thought this was a really good week. All right,
no, of course it is for like people who like that kind of stuff. But for me, like people could say like Kenya and the Bridge of Spirits are not for them. And I love like these kinds of open world platformers. I love like these like Pixar style games.
Yep.
So to me, that amazes me because I was going to buy this on PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So the whole point is having access to this on cloud and maybe having RTX will be a win for me. Yeah. So, but it might not be for everyone.
True. GTP, what's your take on this, man?
I've been here for like a half an hour listening to some stuff. This is ridiculous. We're so far away from show notes. Y'all are freaking insane. Okay, and also, because Holtz is my boy, he knows I love him. But you are 10 to 20 years away from being satisfied with what you want in the cloud, at least. You are the most hard to satisfy gamer that I've ever met. And when it comes to cloud, you are 10 to 20 years away. So we're not even getting close to that yet. Go ahead.
Well, the expectations were like at least 10 years, so that's half your expectations. So
there
it's a win-win for me. You know what I mean?
We'll get there. You are so far ahead. We ain't there yet. Look, GeForce Now had a killer week. Dual Universe is going to take off, though it's not a game for me. I have to say Kena, Bridge of Spirits. I can't say Kenna. Doesn't work for me. I don't know how it's really pronounced, but I have to say Kena, Bridge of Spirits. A great announcement for August 24th for the Epic Game Store. I knew I was grabbing it on PC anyway, so the fact it's also going to be playable right away on GeForce Now is excellent. And I've already said I'm playing Lego and Phantom Abyss a ton on GeForce Now. Those are two huge games for me this week, exclusively on GeForce Now. I bought those games and didn't download them anywhere, which is odd for me because I'm all usually local. But no, I just enjoyed them on GFN. They did lose a game this week, but I don't think anybody cares about one shot or whatever it was, to be honest with you. And they're removing it for good reasons because it's not saving your game progress or having issues. It's better it's not there. But I can't wait for Bridge of Spirits. It's going to be a really fun game to play in August. It's going to run great everywhere, I'm sure. And I can't wait to get in there. But I thought it was a great week for GeForce Now. One last thing I want to throw out there because I have been listening to everybody. I'm not going back onto the PlayStation discussion because we don't have time for all that. But I hear a lot of people talking about cloud as if they want all these cloud services to be identical, and that is so boring. There is no cloud service out there right now that is identical or even similar to the other. Stadia is the console in the cloud, totally different, closed ecosystem. It mimics a console 100% when it comes to the business model, except it's in the cloud. Then you've got your GFN, your Luna, your PS Now. All that stuff runs completely different. It offers something completely different. And I want all of them to stay completely different for that kind of choice and competition. I don't need every single service to do everything that every other service does between purchasing
agree.
games or subscription or whatever. I love the variety. I'm the person who, until I die, I'm going to have them all anyway. So it's not going to matter to me. I do realize there's people out there that are going to play on one platform. For me, that would never work, but that's awesome. But the choice is amazing, and I don't want cloud or anybody else to just start mimicking and being the same across the board and day ones everywhere and all this stuff. It's boring to me.
Can you imagine if Nintendo, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation were just all exactly the same performance, graphics, everything? It would just be boring. There'd be no competition, no reason to drive forward or appeal to different types of gamers.
Right. Cloud is offering something to so many different types of people. Luna doing its thing, Stadia doing its thing, xCloud, GFN, all of them are fantastic in their own right, and they all offer something for a different consumer base, and that's what I want to see continue to happen because it brings more gamers. And what do we want? More gamers. We're gamers at heart. We've been doing it all our life. The faster it grows, the bigger it gets, the better it gets. So we want more people gaming, not less. And if you restrict what each service is offering, make them all the same, you're going to get less gamers.
True. Good point. People seem to agree with you. Raising facts.
So
Okay,
I was going to say, I actually think GeForce Now gets 4 times the multiplayer in my mind because they would say Iron Harvest on Steam 1 week, and then next week they go Iron Harvest on Epic Store, and then Iron Harvest on GOG, and we're like, okay, I get the message. Iron Harvest is on GeForce Now, and I understand it brings the gamers that I've got these library, but to me, I see GeForce Now as an amalgamation of one. So they should just announce the news and just say Iron Harvest is coming to GeForce Now across many clients, and that should be it. I don't think we should keep on praising the likes of GeForce Now above any other service for bringing it from another client.
Hardcore PC gamers will disagree.
Yeah.
So
They're very particular about the stores they're getting their games from, and it's a huge deal when they're brought from multiple stores. A big deal for PC.
I know hardcore PC gamers that hate Epic. They will not buy a single thing on Epic, even if it's 10% of the cost of what they're buying on Steam. It can be free. Exactly. They're still not going to get it.
But to me, I see PC as a big, huge hole. I never segment it and say Steam, Epic, Ubisoft, GOG, and stuff like that. So that's what they're doing, they're segmenting it. So to me, I'm like, well, why doesn't this PC game come to GeForce Now? And you're, oh yeah, when it comes to Steam, and then a few months down later, when it comes to Epic. To me, I'm like, that's not good for the cloud service.
No.
The developers should get on board and actually bring it all.
It's good for a cloud service that strictly supports the PC gamer base and the existing PC library. It's not good as a cloud service if it was trying to be standalone, only game on GeForce Now and never have a PC. I would never recommend anybody just grab GeForce Now and that's your only way of gaming. I've been very clear about that. It supports PC.
So, I like that they bring from all different stores because, I might have missed a sale on game A that was on Steam, a couple of months ago, and now it's full price again, but I don't want to pay full price. It's half the price on Epic this month. Oh, GeForce Now have brought it over from Epic. Well, now I can play it on GeForce Now. I don't need, twiddle with the PC, etc. I like that, but I also see where Holtz is coming from and understand that, it looks good when all these games are coming, but they are the same games. So, you definitely have a point.
So my camera is DOA again. It's crazy. I thought I fixed it.
So guys, what do you want? Do you want more of a closed infrastructure for cloud, or would you want more services the better?
The more the better.
So when you say closed, you mean one dominating? And
so we got Microsoft Store, we got Stadia Store, Luna Store, and then
I want it just the way it is with streaming right now. You have your Netflix, you have your HBO Max, you have your Disney Plus. They all providing different content. That's what I would hope for cloud gaming. And I think NVIDIA knows what they have with GeForce Now. They're going straight for, you look at the games that big games this year, Valheim. You look at this Kenya game, whatever you guys want to call it. And then you look at what's the one with the rat? I can't remember. The rat with the guns.
Oh,
Biomutant.
That one. Yeah.
The
like a rat.
But you see the type of games they get, they're not going for like the Maddens, they're not going for like the console type games like Stadia is going for. I think they know the market and they are trying to get those games. And I like that. So I know for cloud, right? You have GeForce now for PC games. I know if you want the console like type of experience, you have Stadia for that. And then who knows what Luna Microsoft is gonna end up turning into.
Luna feels like it's targeting the Switch type of audience to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Their design language, the games they're adding, how they're adding them. They don't care about the multiplayer yet. When we talked about that, but yeah, just everything they're doing just feels very Switch-like to me. It's a very Nintendo strategy.
Okay. So let's move to Link. What's your thoughts on the GeForce Now news for the week?
This was a definitely big juicy bit, especially seeing Kenna on there. That being a big title for PlayStation coming into the cloud of GeForce. I think that's one of the biggest ones that I saw in there that I was really happy about. Makes me look at PlayStation a little bit more in a better position, because they're allowing these big title games that they're announcing, whether it be, an exclusive or not, to be pushed out into a different ecosystem. So that one's definitely good. I saw Eddie Player One playing Phantom Abyss and completely lose his mind because he was terrible at it.
I can see a lot of people rage quitting that game.
Yeah, but that game is fun. It's something that I think really pushes the user, because as you progress in there, it gets extensively hard. And me personally, I love games that challenge me. I love platformers, old school platformers that challenge me. Look at Kaze and Wild Mass?
Yeah.
I had a blast playing that game. I thought that was an incredible game. And that just brought me back to the old school Sonic feels sometimes. So it was really good. And I look forward to trying that one out for sure. And then I saw about Lego Builders Journey. I know it's a small store, but I'm very curious to try that one out because it's a very cozy single player game. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Dual Universe, like Holtz brought up, I think has definitely potential, but I have a lot of questions with it because it's a single server base idea or game that is run by the users in there. So I'm as I made the joke with the cast this past Thursday on our podcast with Eddie, Chase, and Kai, that it's only a matter of time before the Chinese take over the server, because any game that has a large pool like that, there's definitely a certain continent that takes over either the materials, the world, and starts kind of controlling everything. And yeah, we see it on Rust. We see it on Conan. I'm very concerned about it, but I will not try that game. I'm very scared. Outside of that, though, there's definitely a large list in here. Iron Harvest for the PC players who I've seen plenty of times play. It's very interesting. And who doesn't like a good simulator like Power Wash? I think it's there's dads, there's older people out there that would just love to play this game, and it's a very adult version of a very cozy game to play. And I think these are great games coming to the platform, and I think GFN has been showing a lot of great things with the variety that they're bringing to the table. It's not just a single target audience. There's a plethora of fruit in that bowl, so for everybody to try. And I think this is a huge plus for them.
That's awesome. Good take on that, Link. Appreciate that. Do we hit everyone up for the GFN news? If not, let me know. We didn't hit.
I didn't have my thing. I think they're just being consistency is key. Kenna coming is absolutely amazing. Console exclusive on the PlayStation. That should be praised to high heaven. And the range of games that they are bringing, as Link was saying there, it's just brilliant. There isn't just all the simulators. They are just getting the complete and utter range. And I think they are in a great spot. They know their audience. They know what they're pushing for. And I think it is absolutely brilliant. And since we this is our first one from E3, I think their presence at the PC Gamer show was class because they were just getting out there and absolutely promoting the life out from GFN. Every 10 minutes there was a GFN advert on the PC Gamer show, just trying to highlight that these games are coming. So I think GFN is an absolutely great spot here. And I think we said every week, if any of the other platforms were dumping 13 games in a week, you'd be going absolutely amazing week for them.
Yeah. So I do have to say, Holtz, I see you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think we're actually all only praising Kenyan and Bridge of Spirits because it was on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 at first as an action adventure? Because usually when I see action adventures, it doesn't really hype up GeForce Now. But I think because Sony's done it first with their genres like Spider-Man, God of War, I don't know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it's actually boosted it up because Sony's got it. GeForce Now must have it, and now we're all going, ooh.
No, so for me personally, when I saw that game, my first response was, where can I play that in the cloud? So if you guys, some of you guys might know me, I don't own any consoles, even though I'm looking at the Xbox Series X real good right now. But I don't own any consoles. So when I see a game I want, I always think how can I play that game in the cloud, right? So when I saw Kenny, I was like, man, I hope GeForce Now gets this game. I hope they get this game. And then this announcement happened. I was like, heck yeah. The game looks incredible. To me, it's not what system was it on previously. It's I want to play this game because it looks good. And I'm glad we're able to do that now with GeForce Now in the cloud. So I don't know if that answers your question.
I was of what Holtz was alluding to there. I remember seeing it at State of Play. And, it was announced PlayStation and Epic. And you're thinking, GeForce Now at the time wasn't getting a lot of Epic games.
Yeah.
So when we got that news last week and I was, making the video, I was so excited to see everyone's reaction because, it was console exclusive to PlayStation and then only coming to the Epic Game Store. And now, as everyone here, we all love cloud gaming. We're going to get the chance to play that on GFN. We don't need to worry, is it going to work on the PC I have? Am I going to get a PS5 in time, if you want to get one? It's going to be there for you on most of your devices anyway. I think it's brilliant. It's ahead of time as well, the same as Guardians of the Galaxy has been announced. When that's coming. GeForce Now is bringing me games I'm excited for just now.
Yeah.
But in 6 months' time, it could be another platform. And that's just the beauty of gaming. I can go wherever I like.
Can I just say shout outs to the GeForce Now team, though, with this early announcement of releases? I mean, this game doesn't come out until next month. Guardians of the Galaxy still have several months before it comes out. We complained about this, right? They need to let us know in advance. So shout outs for them. I don't know if they are listening to this, but kudos. It's pretty cool.
They announced games that people are excited for and games that people want to play. I was gonna say, we've seen, to what Helmucky was just saying, we've seen several games this year that were PlayStation exclusives that are going other places, and I'm wondering how many more of those we're gonna see in the next, 12 months or so. So it feels like exclusivity is kind of going away unless you own the studio. It seems like developers and publishers are kind of against that now. So I'm just curious what you guys' thoughts are on that.
Yeah, look at MLB The Show. They wanted to bring that to more people, make more money. Why keep it on one console? So yeah, of course you're going to see more and more of the third party that want to go everywhere. Definitely.
Yeah. And
money, man, money.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Well, I felt this way with Death Stranding. I think when it was on PlayStation, a lot of people went, "Oh, we don't care about Death Stranding. It's a walking simulator." And then when it came to GeForce, now we all went, "Look at the graphics. It performs well. It's an amazing game. PlayStation game on GeForce now," and we all praised it. And I feel like it's fanboyism. I mean, it's great that it was on the service, but in the end, we could have played this game before on other services.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but at the time, GFN was sort of new, like cloud gaming was sort of new. So when you see a game that was exclusive to the console before, and you get it on the likes of GFN or any other platform for that matter, and it runs so well, and you can get a really good experience out of it, I think we've got every right to be excited because this is where the future of gaming is going.
I think for me, you guys are kind of hitting the nail with the exclusivity stuff, but I think for me, it's more of I've seen. I mean, over the years, we know how notorious Sony is when it comes to exclusivities being released for other platforms. Look at how long it took for Horizon Zero Dawn to make its way to PC, or all that stuff. For me to be able to see when it says or when they say it's console exclusive, the quick availability to be pushed into a cloud, not necessarily PC, but a cloud service, I think is very impressive, especially for Sony to take that leap of faith to say, yeah, we're going to move it over. And I agree. I think a lot of what Ben said with these exclusivities, they're slowly going to come off unless, you own the company. Those first party exclusives are always going to be there, but it's business. You want the game to grow, of course, on your ecosystem, but why are you going to hold back from letting the company get more money? I mean, that's just a cut of what they're getting when it branches out to another platform. They're still getting a large sum to get it ported over to that or moved over to it. So why not?
And to me, it feels like the gaming industry is changing in that aspect. They're trying to be more consumer rights friendly and things like that, because we're in the generation of online reviews and everything. Like, everybody can complain about something they don't like, and they're going to, more than they're going to praise it, they're going to complain. When Sony seems to be the only one that seems to be giving pushback on letting those go, that old school mentality. Everywhere else, I mean, you see something on Steam, it pops up on Epic, it pops up on GOG. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not just one platform, one service. Everybody's getting it because it's what the consumer wants.
Well, if that's the case, then why am I being whinged for months? For example, Kingdom Hearts on Epic Store. Partnership with GeForce Now, it's not on GeForce Now. And this game, as an exclusive on GeForce Now, is not nowhere else. So I think these clients are actually keeping these exclusives for themselves. I don't think they want to actually share with clouds unless it benefits both parties.
To be fair, Epic's partnership with GeForce Now has been kind of weak the last several months, since right around the time that Kingdom Hearts came to Epic. We haven't seen very many free games on Epic coming, or new games launching on Epic. I mean, unless they're launching everywhere, we're not seeing any things that are being featured on Epic being on GeForce Now anymore like we used to. They're still coming, but it's a much slower pace than before.
Yeah, and that game took forever to even get on Xbox. I mean, that was all the way through on PlayStation until Kingdom Hearts 3, pretty much when Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and they pushed for the 1.5, 2.5, that's when it barely hit Xbox. And that was years. So, I mean, even with that span, I think Epic got it way earlier, but that at least is showing the potential of these exclusivities being broken down from being just on one console, getting the opportunity to branch out. That a Kingdom Hearts game is finally on a PC. Like, you don't have to mod or get a emulator for that. Thank God.
Yeah, true. So, man, for the sake of time, we're just going to hop right onto Google Stadia, man. It's crazy. We can be here all day. So much to talk about, right? But let's talk about Stadia. So, to me, and shout outs to you guys. So, we're doing this thing where we put a poll up just to see what people think about the news for cloud gaming this week. And it looks like Stadia is dominating right now. 50%. 115 people voted, said that they think Google Stadia held it down with the best news. this week, and then we got 34% for xCloud Gaming, and then 16 for GeForce, none for Luna. All right, so let's get into Google Stadia news, though. We got 2 games that was announced this week. Well, they announced the release. I gotta look at my notes, but we'll keep going. We have Borderlands again for a free-to-play weekend, but the difference with this weekend is the fact that this game now supports crossplay, so you should be able to play it with other people. Personally, I haven't tested it, but I'm seeing a lot of people loving it, so that's cool. We have the release of Google Stadia on Android TV, which I think is a big deal. Again, you can play it on your NVIDIA Shield, your Google Chromecast TV. Big news for Google Stadia all around. So just want to check in with the panel. I'm sure I'm missing something, but for the sake of time, just want to check in with the panel and see what y'all's thoughts are with the Google Stadia news for this week. So to start, let's get GTP on here first.
Crap. Always with the Stadia first. Why me?
Yes,
no. Hello Engineer was your other one. So you had Madden.
There we go.
You had Hello Engineer. Yeah, and then of course the Android TV, like you're talking about on there. For me, the biggest thing was the Android TV support, because we've been saying forever, why am I sitting here with a Shield TV Pro or a new Google TV device and I can't have Stadia natively on it? So that for me was really good. I've been having great luck with it on the Google TV. You guys have some great videos up already on that stuff. And Shield TV Pro is a little hit and miss for me right now. And I think Ben had a similar experience where I don't know what is going on with the app on Shield TV Pro, but I'm really having trouble with it. Enough that it slowed me down. Yeah, okay. I just was like, I'm not putting a video out on this yet until I figure it out. But now I'm finding out everybody's having trouble. Also missing HDR. The little buttons down there grayed out. Why? This is Android TV. I don't for the life of me understand why they don't have a consistent experience for that across the devices. I don't know if on the Walmart device HDR worked. I didn't see that part of your other video on that, so you would know if that was working. But a little hit or miss on that. However, I will say the CCU is out the window. I hate that thing. I'm done with it because on the Google TV, it does. Yeah, I hate that thing. It works great though. On the Google TV, I'm having a great experience. HDR works flawlessly. You know, the controller's working great. I'm not having any issues with the stream. So I could definitely recommend anybody that prefers a remote and a UI instead of casting from your phone like me, because I'm freaking old. I don't want to cast from my phone. I think it's stupid. I love the Google TV. It works great. Stadia works great on it. So for me, that was like the biggest thing this week. Like finally, the CCUs, I have like 10 of them from all these freaking deals and everything else they've had. They're all going in the drawer. If somebody wants one, you can have it. And we've got the Google TV. So that's good for me. Seeing Madden was great as well. But I'm just going to say I still have concerns that games that get released every year, Stadia is still only getting some of those. And some of the games that were released this year, like GTP Moto and F1 and all those, didn't get this year's releases and probably aren't. So I don't know who is and is not going to support, who's supporting Stadia. I won't do year after year games on a platform if I don't know 100% sure that I can continue to play on that platform year after year. So I want to see that get straightened out. If Stadia can straighten out the year after year releases and get some consistency there, I'm going to feel a lot better about where that platform's at. Still a little concerned for Stadia right now, but all in all, a pretty good week for them, and I'm really having fun testing out Stadia on the other devices.
Cool. Good take on that. How about you, host? What's your take on Stadia news for this week?
Well, I'm totally opposite from GTP. I mean, I love my CCU. I mean, to me, I actually use Google Assistant. I don't need a remote. I don't actually need a user interface. All I need to say is, Google, cast this, or I use my phone. My phone is more closer to me than actually looking for additional remotes. And with the CCU, it actually supports more apps in the UK that I will actually use than actually Google TV has actually got at the moment. So to me, I wouldn't actually waste my time buying additional hardware just to play Stadia when I've already got something that will actually play the games that I actually want. So to me, it's a no-go for me on the Google's TV. But I'm happy for the people who actually want to have this user interface remote and have that nice squeaking clean. But to me, it's a no-go.
I don't know if I like headband halts as much as non-headband halts. Non-headband halts was so much easier than headband halts. It's rough today.
It's that spinning bike, but also the whole point is, and to me about Hello Neighbor, I'm not really interested in Hello Neighbor at all because not Hello
But
Neighbor, Hello Engineer,
okay.
because it's early access, and I don't do early access. So to me, it's not something that I'm actually jumping for joy. If you said to me what was the Stadia news for E3, be doing backflips. If you said this week, nothing for me.
No.
That's right. We didn't even have a podcast around E3. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Thanks for your input. Ben, what's your take on this, man?
On the news or on the Android TV part?
All of it.
I think overall the news was decent. I don't care about the Olympics game, but I know a lot of people would love it. It's not my game. What were the other games that they announced? Pull the show notes back up. Hello Engineer. Yeah. I've tried those games. I just can't get into them. They start out fun, but I get bored quick. Other than that, my experience with the Android
Madden 2022 same day release.
Yep, that's cool. That's coming. There's other stuff I could say about that, but I'm not going to say. I'll keep my mouth shut for a little while until we hear more about it. But with the Android TV app, I've had a pretty terrible experience with it. I haven't tried the Stadia controller on the Google TV, or on the Chromecast of Google TV yet. But I did test it out like an average gamer would. I hooked up a Bluetooth controller for it, and it was horrendous. The input lag was awful. I could not do that. And I can just imagine an average gamer that already has that and is just going to pair up a Bluetooth controller, they're not going to have a good experience.
What controller did you pair up with it?
I just grabbed the closest one to me, which was an 8-bit DO controller, or however you pronounce it. I've never pronounced it. I just grabbed one. And that's what most gamers are going to be. They're going to grab the closest thing to them, and they're going to pair it up.
Probably like an Xbox One controller, PS4.
It could be.
5 controller.
It could be. I didn't feel like repairing my Xbox controller though. It's already paired to my Shield TV. I did try it on that. My Shield TV, I tried the Xbox controller and I tried the Stadia controller, and both were bad experiences. I have a video of me like doing like synchronous video where you can see my face and the TV in sync, and you can see how horrible the input lag was with the Stadia controller.
Okay. True. Yeah, it's so interesting. I saw that video too. I was like, man, what is Ben doing wrong? But
it's definitely that 8-bit DO controller, because remember priorities. A lot of people have got Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and God knows what other Bluetooth controller.
I'll try it with I'll try it with a better controller. Okay. But I will say, if you have a cheap controller, or you're an average gamer that's just going to go to Walmart or whatever and buy the cheapest, generic controller you can find, it's not going to work. At least that's going to be based off from my experience. I was just testing it just to see. I had plans to test it with, Xbox controller and with Stadia controller. I just haven't had time yet.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Duncan? What's your take on the news this week for Stadia?
It's Stadia, so there's everything under the sun. Overall, I think it was a pretty good week for Stadia.
Yeah.
You're back!
There he is.
I think overall it was a pretty good week for Stadia. The only issue for me is we all knew all this news was basically coming. I think that, and it's just finally came to fruition. I think it's good. I don't think it's the second coming, as some people may think out there. And I'm just saying this. I'm not getting at anybody in particular. I'm just saying I know there's been a lot of hype, and this is Stadia's resurrection, and because it's on Android TV. I think it's good news. What I also like what they're doing is the similar feature which is on the Shield TV, where there's the play now or suggested for you, and it's showing the games. Absolutely great things. But because it's Stadia, where the flip is the UI update. So you've got these people who are going to maybe play Stadia here, and instead of them jumping in straight away and wanting to buy the big games, they have to fiddle about with their flipping phone and get to download the app. It's just adding another hook for them to go through to get there. But overall, I think it is a pretty good week for Stadia. I've still got my concerns out there for the platform, but I think overall it is not. It wasn't too bad, but I don't think it's a knockout sort of, oh my goodness, this is absolutely amazing sort of week.
So 2 seconds, guys. So you can't actually buy a Stadia game through the Google TV.
No,
you went through the Stadia
can't.
app. So in the end, you still need the mobile phone or web app.
The UI is
But-
garbage.
But-
It's garbage.
but
The other thing I noticed is that
the web browser was like that for quite some time, from what I remember. Right? They can eventually update it.
the other
See,
thing that I
that's-
noticed with the Shield TV, at least, and I haven't tried it on the Chromecast with Google TV. On the Shield TV, your mic won't work, no matter what mic you have hooked up or how. You can join a party chat and you can listen, but I couldn't talk to people; they
Same.
couldn't hear me.
Interesting.
Same, man.
Haven't
Which
Which, when you're
tested
playing
that.
Ghost Recon, which I do that a fair amount, like it's dumb, it's pointless, and it doesn't work for me.
But then again, on the Google TV, that's how we do it on the Shield TV, isn't it? When we play GeForce Now, we go to the clients that we want. We go through our PC, phone, buy the game, and then access it synced on the Shield TV for GeForce Now. So I don't see the issue for a lot of people. But to me, I was just like, oof, how come they haven't actually added it?
Buying the games on it, not a big deal for me yet. I'll give them a few months to figure that out. But not having microphone support when they had an APK that was functioning, they could have just basically copied and built that up. Instead, they just basically copied it and still don't have the function.
See, this is the thing though. They haven't actually. It's not a carbon copy of what was on a CCU.
Yeah.
What they've done. This is where Google, I think, lets themselves down. On the consumer front, I think they focus too much on the tech side at times. But listen, what they've done, they've stripped that app down from 65 megabytes down to only gigabytes, down to only 19 through this Cobalt, software and that they use. It's technically not an app. It's technically like a progressive web app, sort of like what you get on iOS. So the tech behind it is fantastic. I think we need to remember this is only the first instance of it.
Charles said it, right? First iteration of
Yeah, there we go. My only complaint is that why did it take so long? Is just because us as gamers, we're so impatient. We want everything right now.
Yeah.
It's great that it's there. It's coming to Android TVs. It's in front of everybody. I was just reading up, I had some conversations today regarding HDR and your Dolby 5.1 on the Shield. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm going to take Reddit's word for it. That's probably dangerous. But it's something to do with the VP9 profile, and we hear that all the time. The codec that Stadia's using, it doesn't interact well with the software on NVIDIA. Hopefully they can iron that out, because I wanted to get an NVIDIA Shield for most of the gaming platforms other than Luna. But that's put me off now, that it's missing that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, listen, great week, and no one's mentioned the Olympics game yet. It is absolutely fantastic.
I mentioned
love
it. I said I won't buy it because I'm not interested.
And it's got the couch co-op feature.
Yeah.
Do you know, Helmut, if you actually told me it was like track and field from the PlayStation, I'll be jumping on it straight away.
Mate,
That
that's
game
similar.
took my life
It's
away.
pretty similar.
So that's because when you do the 100-meter sprint, you've probably seen my video. I'm like smashing through the controller, and it's good in all the different events. I've got, like, the boxing's great. You use the thumbsticks for the boxing, right?
Yeah.
And you can duck and dodge and weave.
Volleyball and tennis, man. It's a lot of fun.
The tennis one's hard.
I lost
by
a
the way.
lot of hours,
The tennis is a challenge, a really good challenge. I need to test that out, the couch co-op. I think that would be a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I think we need to get that out there more, like this couch co-op thing with Stadia now. This is the sort of thing that cloud is missing. That kind of classic feature. You just need a code. You type in the code, and then you and your mates are away and, you know, playing whichever game. Hope to see that implemented more. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a feature that I'm excited for on Stadia.
Yeah. Link, let's hear from you, sir. What's your thoughts on the Stadia news for this week?
I'll definitely make it quick because I know I talk a lot.
You're good.
Madden, I know is something a lot of the sports gamers like, which I think is good that we have some type of big title sports, including like when we got FIFA. I think this is a really big thing. Hello Engineer, although it's not my thing, it's a different niche, and it's obviously showing that Google's is expanding their niche crowd to the cloud. So I think that's a good one for sure, especially with the state share. It's finally we get another game that's got an exclusive feature involved in it. So and I've seen a lot of people use it, and it's pretty interesting. The Olympics, I'm not a fan. I'm not a big person with it, but it definitely looks interesting. It reminds me of Wii Sports in a way. Or you know, like the Sonic Olympics, but a little bit more fun in a sense. They made like the realism, but they toned it down to be playful. So I might check it out. I don't know for sure, but it does look entertaining. The boxing actually reminds me of Little Mac, so I'm really interested in that one. Borderlands being crossplay, I'm super happy because I love Borderlands. My only grime with that is get on the ball, Sony. What the hell? You're the only one that doesn't want crossplay because it costs money. You can do it. Like, come on.
Seriously. I own Borderlands on Stadia, but one of my best friends owns it on PlayStation, and we've been wanting to play for months together, but we still can't, even though there's crossplay now.
Yeah, I think
so
that's
dumb.
the biggest problem with that one. So that definitely needs to be addressed. I love that Crata is still getting praise even through the release. It's showing that no, I am 100%. I love the fact that this game now even moving to PC is still getting love and showing the progress. The team has done an incredible job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I love their showcases that they do on YouTube. They talk about how to,
Yeah.
you know, how to do certain things. They actually show you how to do it in detail too. So I love that. I love that. And last but not least, of course, the Google TV, which I think is one of the biggest ones. I'm glad that they finally brought it. I know it took a while, but I'm super grateful that they finally put it on there. And then it's it would have been great to be kind of like a mimic over, but I'm glad that they're kind of retouching on this and starting kind of new. It's going to be a work in progress, but I love the way the UI was set up. And I love that it gives the advertisement right there for you. Like if this was, you know, Amazon, it's just kind of right there for you. Try this out. Of course, there's kinks here and there that can be worked out, but in time, I think this is going to be a huge thing for the company going forward. And for those people that use Google products like a Google TV, having that opportunity to just have it implemented without, you know, anything is great. So I think this is going to push it won't extensively increase the user base, but it definitely will increase it a small amount so that there's more people on there. And of course, the more and more that this gets revamped and revised, it's definitely going to pull in a lot more weight.
Agreed. Good take on that. Yeah. So I think this was an incredible week for Google Stadia, and I think the polls says that as well. You should have saw my reaction when this hit. I DM'd you guys in Discord just asking. I was blown away. Like seriously, 2 games, right? Hello Engineer and this Olympic game. I thought they were both good games for this week's release. Pretty good. And then you have the Madden 22 announcement, same day release. That's big. I know it's kind of leaked, but that's big news too. And then the Android TV release. Now I know it's buggy. I know some people have issues, but the fact that I can pop my Nvidia Shield up and have Stadia on it. I know it doesn't have HDR yet, but all those things can come with an update. But man, this was an incredible week for Google Stadia, and I love it. I love the fact that I can play Stadia on my Nvidia Shield without having to sideload. That's the big one for me. But go ahead.
Well, what I actually find funny is that no one in actually this panel has actually said. Usually we say this is going to come to pro, this is going to come to pro in a few months, but no one actually has actually said this Olympics game will actually come to pro in the next, say, 4 to 8 weeks after the Olympics and Paralympics. But once the Olympics and Paralympics are over in July, August, that's it. So not one of us actually said, "Oh yeah, this game's going to come to pro in 8 weeks."
That's a good point.
Hello Engineer is nailed on for a pro game.
I can see that being a pro game.
Yeah, because it's first on Stadia, you know. So,
but
for a limited time, I think so.
I can't get into those games. It's good. My daughter was playing it. I have a hard time with the Hello Neighbor franchise, man. I don't know what it is. But let's move to xCloud. We got like 10 minutes rapid. We're not even going to cover the games. Not a lot of things to talk about there. I do want to talk about the Series X blades in the cloud though, and check in with you guys and see how your experience has been with that, right? So if you guys didn't know, some games are utilizing the Series S and X blades right now for xCloud, and you can see that with performance improvements, with load times, quality, FPS, and all that fun jazz. GTP did a vid on it. We did a vid on it. You can go see some of the games like Ori and the Will-O-Wisp and Rainbow Six Siege. Running these games pretty well in the cloud now because of this upgrade. So just want to check in with the panel, see what your reaction is with this. And yeah, let's start with GTP. I keep starting with you. I don't know why.
Because I just sit here and, because I go quick, because I'm like staring at the clock. I can't help it, because I'm like looking like, oh God, Ace better say something soon. So I'm like, I will not butt in because I'm like, we need to move. And so I just wait. And then you call me, I'll give my piece really quick, and then I'll just listen to everyone until we're done. But no, look, I'm glad that you did, and I'm glad I get just a minute to hit on this xCloud thing, because I have a Series X and S sitting next to me. I play them constantly, and there's a lot of content swirling around already about this Series X blade situation and what's going on, and we've heard zero from Microsoft, right? We've got no official announcement. Nothing's actually happened yet, supposedly, right? What it feels like to me, and while I think everyone needs to take these upgrades kind of with a grain of salt, is it feels like I've never been on a Series X yet. I've been on an S. It feels more like I'm on a Series S, and I feel like what they're doing is swapping out the old blades with a lot of S blades. I feel like those blades are running on the existing infrastructure. They have not updated to what their bit rates and what their new infrastructure they're going to have for sending these games out is going to be when we get the out of beta, because we're still in beta for xCloud as well. We have been for a long time. We're not to that yet. By the time you're hopping on a Series X blade, number one, you're going to be able to stream 4K. That's going to change their quality altogether as it is also. So I feel like what we're doing is just getting this little taste without them saying anything, that they are starting to turn on some of the I didn't even know they were going to do Series S and X blades, but it's confirmed that we have access to S blades. We can't confirm X though. I can't bring up a single game that confirms a Series X blade, but I can bring up several. I know by having both consoles here what the settings options are, what the resolutions run at, different things like that. So it gives me kind of an inkling as to what's going on. There's also sometimes the slightest loading differences between the two that I'm trying to look at as well. But I've not seen that I'm on a Series X yet at all. So I don't think they're there yet. So people that are kind of judging this as, I'm seeing a lot of articles and content saying this is the upgrade. This is not the upgrade yet. This is just phase one of just starting to turn on the S blades, which is going to handle your 1080p, your 1440p, a lot of games that can run 120 and 60, and then Series X is going to handle the people that have those 4K monitors, or games that only run 120 on the X will be there, because there are a lot of games that will only run 120 on the X, not the S. So I think we're feeling the S blades. I think they feel amazing though. The stream quality is not there yet with motion, but they'll get there. But the latency is a million times better than it was before. Yeah, I mean, Dirt 5 was unplayable for me. MLB The Show, I don't think I got a single hit in xCloud on MLB The Show. I was knocking home runs the other night on xCloud, and I'm like, okay, I can still see some of the bitrate issues, but the latency was just so much better. So my hype now for xCloud and where things are going, what Xbox is doing is high. I really like what I see. but I think everybody needs to take a deep breath. I don't think we're on Series X blades yet. We're not seeing the full quality of the internet they're going to be pushing yet, but it's really exciting, and it's definitely made a big difference. I've been playing a ton of xCloud since this started happening.
I think why a lot of people are excited is just seeing the difference in real time. I mean, literally, you and Chief did a video, and I played the game of Dark Alliance, hours before we found out the Blaze, and then you go back on, it's like, holy crap, is this the same game? It's just exciting to see like what the future product will actually look like when it becomes available. So it's exciting. How about you, Duncan? What's your take on these Blades coming?
I've been made fun of for the last couple of months saying nothing new there. That xCloud was running pretty well for me. Since this upgrade, it is on to nearly a different level. I have done the famous trigger sort of test. I don't think people were believing it. What I'm actually like seeing out there in the Twitterverse now and in our cloud gaming Twitterverse is people are actually jumping in and people are saying, yeah, there is a massive difference. And I'm seeing some people who were 100% Stadia is the best and everything like that. They are also saying now xCloud is running better for me in these certain circumstances in different places. As we know, cloud gaming changes. And I'm just really excited where this is going. Microsoft, I was giving them a hard time in our Sony rant there earlier. I'm just really excited where they are going. And as Maker of Chaos has said a couple of times in the chat, with the confirmation now they are working in cloud native games, and they've took someone from somewhere, I don't know, some other cloud gaming company to start working on their games. I can't wait to see what they're doing. It is, for me, if you're in a good area for xCloud, you could thoroughly recommend it now for people to use. And I know most people, we couldn't say that a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago. We couldn't say, do not touch xCloud because it's too ropey. Now we're in the position, there's 40 plus games moved onto these new blades, whatever version they are, and it is playable. And in some cases, it's better than the other cloud services. For me now, xCloud, GFN and xCloud is just a little bit behind GFN now. It is just absolute. The gap is narrowing all the time, and as Jerry has said, that I think this is them just a soft launching this, and we're going to see some big, massive changes down the line as well, where they're going to tweak it even more.
Yeah, because right now they've just turned a few things on, and you know, it's coming out to more people that have the invite. So we're the dummy testers right now, you know, because they can see exactly what we are getting and, you know, how much improvement there is. And that's going to continue for a wee while yet. Let's not make any, you know, rash conclusions that this is going to be all rolled out this time next week. There's going to be more extensive testing going, just the same as everyone else does before we get updates. But it's exciting. I'm excited because xCloud have got, well, Game Pass in particular, I've got a lot of games I want to play, but I couldn't enjoy them because it just wasn't there for me. So now that they're starting to upgrade, I feel like I'm going to have somewhere else. I'm going to sit in front of this computer and go, where do I go? Do I go Stadia? Do I go GFN? Do I go Game Pass? And I'm just going to be I'm just going to be spoiled for choice. And let's be honest, that's what you want. You want to have everything, because that's what we're like these days. We want to have everything right now, and we want it all to be as good as one another. I don't want to have to pick and choose where I need to go depending on the quality. So that's the thing that excites me most. It's get it on a par with the rest of the cloud gaming services right now, and then we'll take it from there, see what happens.
I do want to say something real quick. I know we're running short on time. I see a lot of people in the chat like wanting to try xCloud and complaining about it. I've seen a lot of people complaining about it still not working for them. Just to be clear, to get the upgraded blades or whatever they're doing where the performance got better, you have to go to xbox.com/play. The app will not work. The app still runs the same way as it did before.
Yeah.
On
Yeah,
Android, not on iOS. Because on my iPad I can play 120 frames per second.
so-
and
Okay,
60
so the
I'm
so
glad
the
you
so the
said
Apple
that.
app
I'm
is
glad-
the
Yeah.
iOS app is working.
yeah, they're
Okay.
picking up my 120 hertz
Yeah.
display on the iPad
Nice.
Pro, and I'm playing
Yeah.
Ori and Siege at 120, and it's working really well.
It is.
Nice.
It is for me. And
So the Android app doesn't work yet.
doesn't. But yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not the web. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Skip
something.
said that.
I think that's we've actually one of the things we've actually skipped over it with this xCloud news is the up to 120 FPS.
That's nuts.
That doesn't really matter. We've just been forgetting about that. That is for me. Give me 60, and I'm a happy bunny because I don't have any 120. But you guys who do have that, I know that does make a hell of a difference.
Yeah. So
The only screen that I have that can do 120 is my Galaxy S21. Like that's the only one that I have that can do it.
So my thing is, when 4K becomes a thing, because that's kind of the limitation we see with Google Stadia, right? When they give you like a performance mode or a quality mode, they give you 4K, but then you have to pick 30 FPS, right? And if you want performance, it's 1080 60. So I'm wondering if they'll be able to push 4K 60, with the Series X blade. And I think that's going to be an advantage that's going to have with the competition. It's going to be interesting to see what Luna does with their 4K as well, to see if they can push, like quality 4K 60, not 4K 30. But we have to wait and see. But let's check in with Link real quick. What's your take on this xCloud news?
I think it's a huge improvement. I haven't personally been able to try it on the website yet, but I occasionally will play on my phone, and I've noticed, like, even though I have an Android, like it's the response time with touch controls, nonetheless, are a lot cleaner than when the first time I've played them, but they've progressively gotten better. I think this is a huge thing, though, especially the way they've expressed that even with consoles, you're going to be allowed to do this native cloud playing. It's kind of mind-boggling to see it all come together, but I'm just happy to be a gamer, honestly. Having these options and stuff has been beneficial, and I've been grateful for it. And I can already see now with the way Xbox is going, next year is definitely going to be the year of the gamer. There's a lot of stuff from a lot of different companies that are going to make a huge impact on the gaming community and industry. So I'm looking forward to it. I think this is a huge win for Xbox, especially how they stealth dropped this, and people found it was incredible that they just sneaked it in. But that's Phil Harrison in a nutshell, man. He tends to just throw these curveballs at you, and you right when you don't expect it. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to see what else they bring.
Yeah, I was on vacation with my family when the worst week to go on vacation, man, when it comes to cloud gaming. Just so many news dropping left to right. And when I heard this was a thing, we had horrible Wi-Fi connections, so I couldn't really test that. I was like, I cannot wait to get home. But I love the stealth drop of this, and yeah, pretty cool to see if they continued this. But did we cover everyone else with this news?
Well, I was going to quickly say, because I'm last, I'm going to say that I'm actually staying away from this kind of news until Microsoft officially announce it. Because, I'm doing backflips to likes of Yakuza Like a Dragon, Gears 5, Master Chief, collection. But to me, there's also games that I'm like, well, where's the games that I want to play? Doom Eternal, Halo 5, Forza Motorsport 4. So there's a big, huge decrease in games that I'm really interested. I've got hope in the platform. And this service has actually worked for me since day dot, since early beta. So I have all hope that they will bring this, but at the moment I'm not going to get my hopes up just diving in, filtering through these games before the actual news drops.
True. Good point. I don't know how you... I'm a techie. I need to see it as it's happening, but kudos to you, man.
And see, I've got 120 display. I've got an iPad there, just like GTP, but I'm not actually going to dive into it and get my hopes up. this game doesn't work, that one does. Brownie points for that. I'm not applauding the service until Microsoft drops it.
I will say quickly, it is getting to the point, besides all the list everybody threw out there, it's almost to the point that there isn't a game I don't launch up that I don't feel like is now hitting in a Series S. It's getting really close. I feel like they're starting to shift a lot of them over. There are still some games that aren't doing it, but more and more are happening every day and every hour that I check it out.
So the two games I've been testing is NBA 2K and Halo 5, and still none for that for me. But
See, I love the way GTP is actually constantly checking it every day.
Oh, that's the fun part, man. I could care less about playing the games, man.
Yeah,
Like, I
dude.
test games. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have time to play
True.
games as much. I just care about testing them. I want to
Testing,
see what they
yeah.
look like, how fast do they load, which ones are working. I mean, I clicked every game that day.
Are you
That's it.
serious?
I'm not lying, dude. I sat here
I
for
clicked
hours.
quite a
I
few,
stopped.
too.
Crazy.
Yeah, I stopped
Wow.
making content. I stopped gaming. I stopped life, and I sat here and I was like, "What? We're getting blades?" And I just sat there.
You and
That's how-
Chief.
I'm just, oh yeah, we're just, and then we're sending DMs. This one works, guys. This one works, guys. That was our life, and that's the exciting part. That excites me more than the actual gaming. That's how tech nerdy I am.
GTP,
So.
that's what's great about me in the Discord. I was like, GTP, want to escape? Can you test Halo? No. And I was happily sitting back going,
I know.
test
That's so true. I was did too, just like getting the games that works from them.
But to Holt's point, though,
awesome.
that's why I'm saying everybody that sees this content or thinks, oh my God, the upgrades are here, take that with a grain of salt. It's not all here yet, but
Yeah.
it's so fun to play around with and experiment right now.
True.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, we do gotta wrap it up, but let's give the members of the panel a chance to just plug and let people know what they do. So to get started, Holtz, what do you do? Where can people find you, sir?
So I'm just a cloud enthusiast. You'll see me across multiple services and play on a lot of games of late. And you can just get me on Twitter and say hi if you want on Holt86.
Cool. Good to have you on here, Holtz. GTP, what do you do, sir? And where can people find you?
Game Tech Planet on YouTube, at Game Tech Planet on Twitter. You don't mind if I say we have the podcast tomorrow night.
Yes,
I don't know
sir.
what all we're doing yet. Xbox will be a big part of it. We're probably going to hit on Xbox, PlayStation a little bit, and then we'll hit on some cloud. But we'll be doing that tomorrow night, somewhere between 8:30 and 9 p.m. Eastern.
I love the date and the time because there's really nothing around that time on Sunday. So I'm always excited for that. Yeah, make sure you guys check out the podcast for sure. How about you, Duncan? Sir, what do you do? Where can people find you?
Knock that sir in the head. That's what I'm going to say. Cloudy with games, and we have got a couple of things. If you're into GFN, we did a GFN special last night where we
That was a lot of fun.
where we were picking games in the Steam sale for under £30, $40, and I think I think Ben enjoyed it anyway. I thought it was a
Duncan
bit
won the
of crap.
challenge, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I everybody has a comment that I won the challenge for me to win the challenge, but I think I picked some good games.
Cool. Good to have you on here, Duncan, for sure. Ben, what do you do? Where can people find you?
I'm on everybody's Discord. That's the big thing. I'm working on starting to add more content to my Twitch and YouTube accounts. You'll see stuff. I'll probably upload my, I know I'll get hate for it, but I'll upload my experience with the input lag on the Shield TV with the Android TV app in case people want to see it. This isn't like, complete judgment. This is just my experience. If you want to see what it looked like, you can see like me pushing buttons versus the screen at the same time. But yeah, I don't really have a link for it. You can just click my profile or follow me, whatever. I'll see if I can try and add it to the chat.
Cool. Good to have you on here, Ben. Link TV, our guest for today. It was a lot of fun having you on. Definitely appreciate your input. What do you do, sir? And where can people find you?
Of course, I'll say again, thank you guys for the invite. It was an honor being here. I had a blast. You can find me on YouTube at linktv_stadia, where I stream. I'll have that scheduled sometime up this week. You could also find me on the Cloud Gaming Unfiltered podcast on every Thursday with Eddie Player One, Chase the Gaming Advocate, and What's Cracking Kai. And if you need me on
podcast, for sure.
thank you.
Yeah.
And if you ever need to get a hold of me on Twitter, it's same thing, linktv_stadia. I'm always around. But yeah, Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. Had a blast.
Absolutely. Monkey, do you want to plug in then?
Yeah, sorry. Link, I think you've been one of the best guests we've had. I could listen to you talk about gaming for hours. Thank you very much for coming on. That was
Thank you, man. I
brilliant.
appreciate that.
No,
It's
so
fun.
much knowledge. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. No, look, listen, guys. Cloud Gaming News Recap coming up tomorrow. That'll be coming. It's a bit more juicy this week. There's been plenty happening. Just want to plug the website as always, trying to get people on the website. I'm trying my hardest to get everything out there as well, but you know, it's there's a lot going on. Other than that, drop the like and the sub if you're enjoying this, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week. I know we took 2 weeks off, but I think it was good for the panel to just get a little bit of rest too. But we're back. So same time next week. Appreciate you guys. Link again. Good to have you on here. We'll catch you guys next week. Till next time. Peace out.